It was an ordinary August day in San Antonio, Texas, when construction worker Tony Sullivan's excavator struck something metallic beneath the cracked foundation of an old warehouse. Sweat dripped down his brow as he shut off the machine and knelt to investigate. What he uncovered tarnished a police badge, a wallet. Fragments of a uniform would unravel a 13-year-old mystery and expose a web of corruption reaching the highest levels of city government. The badge read, San Antonio Police Department. Badge 247. Sullivan had found plenty of odd things in 15 years of construction, but never a police badge, and never one that would change so many lives. The night Linda Rodriguez vanished, Officer Linda Rodriguez was 24 years old when she vanished in October 1991. A young Latina patrol officer with a reputation for integrity and grit. She was last seen on duty in the city's industrial district. Her squad car was found abandoned by the river. Driver's door open, radio still functioning, but Linda was gone. The official story, she likely fell into the river and drowned. But her family, especially her brother Miguel Rodriguez, never believed it. She was a strong swimmer, Miguel recalled. She would never abandon her post. Something happened to her, and I knew it wasn't an accident. The case went cold after 6 months. No body, no suspects, no answers. The department moved on, and Linda's name faded from the headlines, but her brother never stopped searching for the truth. A discovery that changed everything when Tony Sullivan unearthed badge 247 beneath that warehouse foundation. He had no idea the wallet he found belonged to Miguel's missing sister. The badge, the watch, the torn uniform, each item was a fragment of a story the city had tried to forget. Miguel, now a construction foreman himself, was called to the scene. He recognized the badge instantly. "That's my sister," he whispered. For 13 years, he'd waited for a sign. Now at last he had proof she hadn't just walked away. But proof of what? That was the question Detective Sarah Chen, a seasoned investigator with a reputation for integrity, set out to answer. A thin file and missing evidence, Detective Chen's first stop was the original case file. It was shockingly thin for a missing officer. A few witness statements, basic timeline, and nothing about Linda's state of mind or workplace relationships. But a conversation with Miguel revealed a crucial detail. 2 weeks before her disappearance, Linda had filed a formal complaint of sexual harassment against several officers, including some with power and influence. Strangely, there was no mention of this complaint in the official file. Someone removed it, Chen concluded. And someone wanted Linda Rodriguez to disappear. The warehouse as a crime scene forensics teams soon uncovered human remains beneath the concrete, wrapped in a police uniform. Dental records confirmed the worst. It was Linda Rodriguez. The medical examiner found a single gunshot wound to the head. The bullet matched the caliber of Linda's backup weapon. 38 revolvers she'd purchased just weeks before her death. The weapon was never recovered. For Miguel, the discovery was devastating but clarifying. She didn't drown, he said. She was murdered, and someone covered it up. A pattern of harassment and threats digging into Linda's personal files. Chen found meticulous notes. Linda had documented repeated harassment from 3 officers, James Murphy, Bill Foster, and Ray Coleman. She described unwanted advances, inappropriate comments, and physical intimidation. Most chilling was an entry dated 5 days before her disappearance. Captain Morrison called me in. He told me the complaint was causing problems. Suggested I transfer. Warned me not to make accusations I couldn't prove. Linda refused to back down. She kept records, filed reports, and continued to do her job. But in the male-dominated world of early 90s policing, speaking up made her a target. The conspiracy unfolds. The investigation quickly pointed to a cover-up. The warehouse where Linda was buried had been scheduled for demolition in 1992, but permits were mysteriously delayed for over a decade. Key supervisors Captain Morrison and Lieutenant Forster had the authority to change patrol assignments and order radio silence. Phone records revealed a series of late-night calls between their offices and the dispatch center on the night Linda vanished. A break came when a retired shift supervisor, Frank Dawson, admitted he'd been pressured to keep quiet. Linda was making enemies, he said. Morrison and Foster had the power to make people disappear on paper, and in real life, surveillance and confessions, Detective Chen developed a plan. If Morrison and Foster thought new evidence had surfaced, they might try to silence Miguel just as they had Linda. With Miguel's consent, she wired him for meetings with both men, capturing offers of hush money and nervous confessions on tape. If Foster cracked first, admitting to harassment and implicating Morrison as the mastermind behind Linda's disappearance. Morrison, confronted in a park near the river where Linda's car was found, finally broke. She was going to destroy good men's careers over some comments, he said. She wouldn't listen to reason. They had to take drastic action. His confession, along with the forensic evidence, was enough to arrest both men for murder. The scandal goes higher, but the story didn't end there. Morrison, facing a life sentence, offered a deal. In exchange for leniency, he would expose a sprawling network of corruption. Linda, it turned out, had uncovered not just harassment, but financial fraud involving millions in federal grant money. The conspiracy reached the police commissioner, city hall, and even federal administrators. Audio recordings, financial records, and secret memos revealed a pattern: fake overtime, embezzled grants, and systematic intimidation of anyone who threatened to reveal the truth. Linda's murder, Morrison admitted, was ordered to protect the scheme. Justice. Finally, over the next year, 6 high-ranking officials were arrested and prosecuted. Morrison and Foster received life sentences for murder and conspiracy. The police commissioner, city chief of staff, and a federal grants administrator were convicted of fraud, money laundering, and accessory to murder. Millions in stolen funds were recovered. Rodriguez protocol mandatory reporting and oversight for harassment and financial irregularities became law across Texas. Miguel Rodriguez founded the Linda Rodriguez Memorial Foundation. It's offering scholarships for women entering law enforcement. Detective Sarah Chen was promoted to Chief of Internal Affairs, leading reforms that made San Antonio's police department a national model for transparency. A legacy that endures. On the 15th anniversary of Linda's death, the city unveiled a bronze statue in her honor. The plaque reads, Officer Linda Rodriguez, 1967 to 1991. Hero, defender of justice. Her story is now required reading at police academies and the FBI Academy, a case study in the power of integrity and the cost of silence. As Detective Chen reflected, Linda believed police work was about protecting those who couldn't protect themselves. In the end, her courage protected us all. The badge beneath the concrete had finally told its story. Linda Rodriguez was no longer missing. Her legacy was now built into the very foundation of American law enforcement.